Hello friends, welcome back to Rose Tarot and Astrology. I am your host Mel Rose, and this is your two-card reading for Friday, December 29, 2023. The sun is in Capricorn, the waning gibbous moon is in Leo. Think of a moon in Leo as your time to shine, to be generous, to give from the heart to others. And that's not just about money, it's about care, joy, enthusiasm, interest, involvement, expertise, all those things that you can invest in others. That's what the sun does, and the sun is what rules Leo. So the sun kind of rules the moon today. Venus is moving on into Sagittarius today as well. If you want to know more about the astrology, please check out my Astrology Today video. It's right next to this one on the channel. In fact, if you like this video, subscribe to the channel and then click for notifications. Then you'll know every time I post fresh daily astrology and tarot content. And as always, my friends, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you chose to join me for today's reading. What have we got to say here? The Page of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. So the page is really more willpower and sort of action oriented than wise. The page is generally considered a youthful figure and something of a messenger, but delivering a message of wands, which is fire, which is action, it's momentum, it's assertiveness or even aggressiveness, restlessness, that kind of stuff. So whatever it is that makes you want to that wants to spur us into action right now, we might be thinking, we might not be thinking very much. We might be just feeling like we want to get moving on something, and we're not even sure necessarily how that's going to work out. It's not really about the outcome, it's about having the experience, right? Because once you have the experience, then you know. This is a very fiery disposition. And then the Six of Coins here is really about, you know, having lifted ourselves to a level where we are comfortable with our health, wealth, and finances. We have the good health that we want. We have the things that we need and desire. And now, you know, having come through some difficulty to get here, we think it's only fair. You see the scales there. We think it's only fair to give back a little bit, right? So if you think about the Five of Wands, and of course I always center myself as the person standing in this card, when you think back on the Five of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles is a time of hardship, of sort of like going without something you really need, and so you know, and then you have to ask yourself, you have to take action and really ask for help, and then you get the help that you need. You have this, you find the success that you wanted to have. So now you see other people who are in need of help and you want to give to them as well. So perhaps that's what this fiery sort of initiative is. It's this desire to want to go out and be generous and you know, give to whoever is in need. And you know, we learned some lessons when we try to be generous, right? When we're inexperienced, but we want to be generous with people, maybe we give a little bit too much, or we give in the wrong place, or we find that the gift we gave was misused in some way. So, you know, according to our opinion, right? And so some people sort of turn to, you know, giving on a larger scale, like giving to a charitable organization that you know is going to donate those funds directly to cancer research, etc., something like that, right? But then, you know, we realize when we get to that point that we're not really helping the people that we see when we're walking down the road, when you're, you know, sort of out there looking good, dressed well, clearly doing okay for yourself, and you see people who are in need. You know, there's still that desire to really help those people directly. And I just want to, you know, I'm going to go ahead and plug, your local mutual aid group for this. You know, I love mutual aid. It is about helping people just like charity is. It's about making sure people have what they need just because they need it and not for any other reason, right? And but the difference between charity and mutual aid is you know, we're just you know, we're not giving to like this giving from this idea that we're not giving from this idea that our money has to go to a certain specific, like has to go in a certain specific way, okay? When you give to mutual aid, you say, oh yes, here's $200 because I know this person is trying to save up for a car and they could really use a car, right? But that's giving, and just knowing that, you know, like supporting that person and getting what they need and trusting them to do with those funds what is right for them, what they need with them, right? So it's a little bit different in that you have to have a little bit of trust, a little faith in your fellow human being, but it's a direct action kind of thing where if somebody reaches out to your local mutual aid group, and often those exist like on Facebook, or I don't know if mutual aid groups, they're probably on Instagram and all the different TikTok and all that stuff, right? So you know, if you reach out to your local mutual aid group, then you can help people directly, and you just have to be less invested in like how they actually use the resources that you give them, because look, there are a lot of people out here that are simply in need of all the resources. You know, like if you don't have a car, then what else are you missing from your life, right? What else is it going to take money to help you, to help lift you up? So you know, definitely check out your local mutual aid group and see what you can do to offer some help. And you know, again, that's a great way to take initiative, sort of blind. You know, a page is an indication of you know, really not necessarily always knowing what you're doing, but just having that power and that passion to make progress, to do something, right? It's really just a do something kind of card. And you know, if the it's really appropriate. The moon is in Leo today, right? So this is a time to shine. It is a time to be generous. It is a time to give from the heart and to show support for others. You know, additionally, we are still just past the solstice in the long, cold nights of the year. So, you know, if you know somebody who could use some help, you know, don't worry too much about how they're going to use the help that you give them. Just go ahead and give it to them. If you have it to give, you should. And, you know, you might learn a lesson from that. It might change your mind later about how you're going to give to people in the future. But, you know, directly helping people, to me, in my experience, especially with mutual aid, directly helping people is the most satisfying, and it really, you know, keeps you connected with the community around you in a way that you might not otherwise be when you get to this point where you are quite comfortable material-wise. Okay, that's my sermon. I think that's all I have to say about it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a lovely day. I'll talk to you in the next video.